are you?
Oh, I'm on a saga.
You're on a saga. You've been on a saga for a week?
It's been delightful. So I think I was expecting sort of a day skipper vibe sail, where we sail, you sort of get shown the ropes, and then it sort of is that continuously with a bit of training. And then living it, I think there was a lot more than I anticipated, which I thought was really great. So I got more than I thought I was going to get, in terms of the experience, the sailing quality. We were really lucky, I think, with the weather. So getting to see sort of a more sort of windier. This probably wasn't that windy for you guys, but for me, like being more comfortable in sort of the elements and doing it for a long passage, I really enjoyed. I didn't think I'd get so much out of it. I thought it'd just be sort of, you're a bit naive, I guess. I sort of forgot what sailing was going to be like because I haven't done it for so long. So it was quite nice to come back into that. And yeah, to take away, just to be more confident and comfortable with the winds, knowing you can sort of basically just, as long as you know what to do in a situation, emergencies, and then sort of doing the whole, if you go into the wind to stop the boat and how to do all of that stuff, then I feel like more comfortable, and then learn a bit more about which sails to put up with which wind conditions. It would be quite fun. Yeah. I feel very safe on this boat, I think, because of you and Chris. I feel like that I'm just so comfortable with the fact that you guys are so experienced, have done so much, that I'm like, if anything were to go wrong, like when the line came off the main sail, it was no shouting, it was very calm. It was like, yeah, just sort of pop the engine on, like we'll just fix it up and then we'll crack on again. So I never actually felt really on edge. I think when we took it out on the first day, when it was starting, I started to get used to, I was a bit like, oh, and then I was like, oh no, this is what is meant to happen. And then after that I felt quite comfortable actually, but it is very different but it's quite nice to get that experience and be with people you feel very safe around. I think that was probably the main thing. So this was really good, especially as you had a slight swell, so you couldn't really see where the waves coming from, so it would move without you so you had to sort of counteract it, and that was quite fun. And then again with the shipping, me and Ben had some fun. Yeah, yes. It's from Alderney, yeah, and then the tanker came in and we were like, is it going to move? Yeah, so that was fun, good experience, but I didn't even think to ring. So when we wrote, because we were like, oh, let's ring Chris, wake Chris up, and then he just went straight on the radio, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't have even thought, I would have just been like, right, we need to move, like we need to do something about it, but it's smart to ring first, and then when they said, oh, we're going to maintain, then to do whatever we were going to do. So that was quite good. I sat down and had to just calculate the time to leave Cherbourg, to get to Sark, wasn't it? And to make sure we were going with the tide for most of it anyway. And I remember sitting down thinking, in my head I was like, oh, this is a big task. And so I got everything out and like did all that, and then I was like, oh, no, this is actually quite simple. I literally just need to go through and do which hours, and then work it through backwards. But I remember sitting down being like, right, getting ready with my pen to write down, and then realising, oh, actually it's literally just that. But it's memory, isn't it, I guess? Yeah. It was quite good actually. I think Nihan enjoyed doing that as well, because you could tell he was like, oh, to port you'll see this cardinal marker, and then this buoy to starboard. So I think it's quite good because you sort of recognise a bit more where you are, where you're going. So I think you feel a bit more comfortable because you're like, oh, the depth will start to shallow or whatever, which is quite fun. Not on a sailboat, very limited. So I think that was really good. The anchoring especially, just because I've never had too many successful and on a smaller vessel, so it was quite nice to just sort of calculate the tidal range and knowing that, and then how much line you need to put down over the top of it. So that was quite good, and sort of doing it as well, so putting everything in neutral where you need to be still and then touch back and things like that. So that was good. Yeah, really good. The food was fantastic. It's amazing what you can make. My favourite I think was the apple pie. Yeah, no, the curry's fantastic. I'm going to go home and make them. Gosh, I don't know, it's actually been such a good week. Like, I've genuinely really enjoyed it. I think I was quite relaxed with that. I think it's nice to have because we originally we're going to go to Alderney first, and then we were like, oh no, let's just go straight to Cherbourg because of the wind and tide. But I think that was quite that is sailing, and I think I enjoyed the aspect that you sort of have to be a bit vulnerable to the weather, or whatever the word is.
Flexible.
Flexible, yeah. Don't pack too much, just pack the basics with some warm gear, so like a woolly hat and things, like layers. And then just be a bit relaxed with timings, don't get stressed out with what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat, and like where you're going to go and all of that stuff. I think just approach your week in terms of you're going to be at sea, you're going to be sailing, and that's a bit to enjoy, and then the rest will follow, but not to be stressed out, because I have a feeling people my age might be like, oh, where's the Wi-Fi? Which there isn't. So if you want Wi-Fi, you want to watch something, download it. I think it's just because you feel like you're properly sailing, you're in it, you're using the boats, you're sort of using the boat to get the winds. And I just thought, oh, it's good practice, more practice, I'll remember it, and then for if I ever go sailing. For now, I feel like it's been a fantastic trip, and I would recommend to anyone. No, that's grand. Thank you very much for having me.